All right, everyone, this is Nancy Rebecca, and I'm talking about the celestial blue crystal grid healing today in relationship to the blue light movement and the blue surge that's going to be happening in November of 2023. So, just in a few months. I apologize. We've been having some glitches this morning, so I had to restart the whole page, which may be easier for those who are on the Facebook Blue Light Movement page to find me. However, it may be a little bit more challenging for those of you who are on YouTube who asked to be reminded. So it may not pop up so easily for you, but I do see that there's about 10 of you on. So good morning from Vernon, BC. I am hoping that those of you on YouTube can find me. So as soon as you can, if you'll go ahead and post. It's going to be a really great talk today. There's a lot of energy around this talk. So I shouldn't be surprised that, that we're having these glitches, I suppose. And I suppose that, and I can imagine that we might have more glitches in the days to come as we are heading towards the big third blue light surge that will be happening in November. So good morning, Jackie with YouTube, and Jennifer. Just wanting to make sure that, that we can find each other. So we're up to a whole whopping 11 people. So let me go ahead and get started, because whatever you have missed during the call, you will definitely pick up in the recording later. So again, my name is Nancy Rebecca. So let me tell you just a little bit about my own personal journey with this, and I'm going to try to kind of put it in a nutshell, because those who've been following this story for a long time, definitely since 2019, you really know the story. I always hope to add a little bit more that you may not know. And then we're just going to talk about just how important this time is. And I have to tell you, I feel it more significantly now than I have in the past. And I felt it pretty significantly back then. So, I am a psychic clairvoyant. I teach psychic mastery. I've been working with the human energy field and how the earth impacts the human energy field, how our relationships impact the human energy field, and just, the overall global news and everything that's happening. So I've been talking about this as a nurse, teaching about this as a psychic clairvoyant for almost 30 years now, and that still blows my mind. But I hadn't really tapped into the celestial realm. Excuse me. Even astrologically, I would follow a little bit of the astrology, but I didn't really conceive of the fact that we were as influenced by the stars. And it was like, what were we going to do with that anyway? What are we going to do with that anyway? Until the star beings, the blue light star beings, came to visit me in 2017. So you can definitely visit my website, intuitivemind.org. You can click on the link blog, and then you can go click on the link Blue Light Movement. In there, you're going to find so many blogs in relationship to that story. So, but what that led to was a trip to China where I had a vision. It was confirmed in China that there was actually a book that was written and published 1,500 years ago that told of the same time period that we're living in now, and that we would be influenced by the blue light, and there would be an enormous, significant shift in the consciousness of humanity. And so just to know, this blew my mind, all along. Then I went to South Africa in 2019, and I had already been initiated into the Sangoma tradition as a medicine woman. And it isn't like I can decide that I want to go through Sangoma training, go through the African traditions, the South African traditions of being initiated into being a medicine woman. For 8 years, every time I visited South Africa, the Sangomas, they had this sense of urgency. They felt like if I didn't go through this training, something bad was going to happen to me. And they almost one time didn't even want me to get on the plane to go home, because they said, if you do not follow this ancestral calling, your life can become very difficult. And so for me, from that kind of Western human perspective, I wasn't feeling that on the inside. I wasn't feeling like I was in danger, but I didn't really understand the concepts. So I had already been initiated after 8 years. That's a whole other story, where I did finally say yes. I felt a little hijacked by the ancestors. I'm glad that you all are starting to find me. But it was in 2019. So I had been talking to the blue beings of light. They are about 8 to 12 feet tall. They're very thin, very elongated. Their faces at times can look very cat-like, at other times kind of goat-like, with that kind of longer facial features. But it dawned on me in the movie Avatar, those blue beings of light, they look very, very similar. As a matter of fact, I would almost say exact. All right, so now back to 2019. I arrived in South Africa, and I am told that I was called there because the Abalozi were calling me. So I was told by the Sangomas that the Abalozi were calling me, and that I needed to go through another ceremony that is an Abalozi ceremony. So in that, it's hard for me here, I was given this cloth after I went through the ceremony. So you see that it's blue. The Abalozi are the star beings, the ancestral realm of the star beings. And not all Sangomas go through the Abalozi initiation. So I just want to say that too. I thought it was a regular part, and it's not. Not everyone is called to work at the level of the star beings. So my blue beads, so normally I would just wear my red and white beads, but I was given my blue beads, and I have another set of darker blue beads. All right, so just to let you know that, I thought that was pretty amazing that after the star beings started to visit me, when I went to South Africa, I was told that I needed to go through, I was being aligned with the star beings. All right, so you've got all that, right? Now, this talk is about the celestial blue crystal grid healing, which I am going to gather you all together today, and those who will be listening to the recording later, to help do some healing on the grid. I've written about the grid before, and I've also written about the blue crystals at the center of the earth. So the blue crystals at the center of the earth hold ancient knowledge. And within that ancient knowledge, there are grids that connect in to those blue crystals. And there's a variety of different types of grids. There's earthly grids that are maybe just within a mile or two of the surface of the earth. There's crystal grids that are a little bit higher than that. There are diamond grids. So there's a lot of different grids associated with maintaining the energetic balance and harmony of the earth. So if you know anything about your auric system, if you know anything about the chakra systems, the energy systems, our earth has the same exact system, but they're called vortexes and ley lines. So the ley lines are these energetic pathways that kind of crisscross, almost like a net. If you were to hold up a net and look like it, it's got these crisscrosses. And in the center of every one of those crisscrosses is, it's an energy center. It's a vortex. Now, we know our energy centers go up and down through the body, but did you know that you personally, as a human, have hundreds and thousands of these different chakra systems of all shapes and sizes to help you personally maintain a personal connection with the earth, with the cosmos, with the expanded view of the world around us and within our community. So, as humans, we have a lot of help to help us stay in balance, but we can get so focused on uh, I didn't hit that deadline that I was supposed to hit yesterday. I've got to get my kids to their soccer games. We don't, on average, as humans, we don't have to think about how we are loved and supported by this crystal grid. However, the crystal grid can get damaged by war, by violence, by atomic bombs, by rocket ships, by our solar system and the environment, heating up, or hurricanes. Those things can help bend and damage and tear the grid ley lines. Oh my gosh. So let me just talk a little bit about that. So I see that there's quite a few finding me. So I've just done some basic background so you haven't missed anything. However, the blue beings of light, I am going to be giving more than one talk a month now. Things are really starting to ramp up, and I'll explain that a little bit more as we go along, as it should be ramping up. This is the biggest of all three surges. This is absolutely the biggest. And what I will say, coincidentally, right after the first one in 2019, we had the COVID pandemic outbreak. After it happened again in the blue light surge in 2021, we had a new variant of the COVID virus pandemic that wasn't, that was surging again at that time. Do I believe in this next one that we're going to have another COVID surge? Well, I will tell you, I didn't know we were going to have the first one, or the second one. So I don't know, but I do know that rather than one surge in the month of November, we're going to have three different surges. They're going to come in stages. And I will be talking about that leading up to November. We are going to have an event. I need to write up the event, but really the information has just started coming through in a bigger way. So, all right. Hello again, Rebecca Fountain. She was the first one on, and it wasn't going live on Facebook, so I needed to shut everything down and reprogram it again. Okay. So let's talk about the grids. So the ley lines in the Chinese feng shui, these ley lines are known as dragon's veins. So in feng shui, it'll talk about dragon's veins, but it's the energy that moves along the ley lines. Now, I've talked about this before, but we're going to go a little bit deeper today. So, and that they believe in feng shui, how you balance your home and how it's built in relationship to the ley lines can impact and affect how you feel, as well as how harmonious the entire earth feels. And I will tell you that I can't tell you how many times when I've gone to do healings of someone's home that it's built right on top of a ley line. I mean, that would be like being built on top of a railway rail lines where there's trains of energy coming through all the time, or a home that's built right on top of a vortex. And that vortex is always drawing energy up to the cosmos, and it's bringing energy back down, and it's surging the energy. I mean, your household's going to be stirred up all the time. But remember, you're drawn to live in the place that you are drawn to for a specific reason. And if you are drawn to live in a home that's smack dab in the middle of a vortex, it's because you can handle the energy or you're learning from the energy. So, but that's a whole other topic. Planetary sacred sites. Oh my gosh. So sacred sites are really aligned on these ley lines. The energetic grids and the positioning of sacred sites, temples, ancient monuments, many structures intentionally built on specific ley lines and points. So remember, we were talking about your house might be sitting on a vortex. Well, think about Stonehenge. So Stonehenge is definitely on a vortex point. I know that the pyramids are enhanced by the crystal grid, but they are very aligned with star constellation systems. So there's a lot of different sacred sites because they can really power up. They can help our connection. They can help us, help you feel more connected to your own spirit. And then this is the part that I had kind of put in the back room. It was like, that's grandma's room. That's where grandma's going to sit. We don't go back there to visit very often. Anyway, this is where the celestial realm comes into play. Our cosmic influences, which is what the blue light is a huge cosmic influence. So the celestial events, like astrology, and planetary alignments and solar activities can also impact the Earth's grid, again, which you all are going to help heal today. There are a lot of cosmic forces at play and are influencing the energetic balance of the planet. Now, yeah, I'm psychic, and yeah, I can go into meditation and I can talk to the celestial beings and I can talk to my ancestors and guides, and I can get a lot of information. But it doesn't stop there. And I would imagine it can be the same for you, where you might be watching a movie that's got some information for you, or something pops across your social media streaming, and things like that. So the other day, just 2 days ago, it was an astronomer that popped up. And what they're finding, because this day and age, their telescopes can go much further, that what they're saying, as far as what they can see, they calculate, they know at this time, is that we have 2 trillion galaxies. 2 trillion galaxies that they can pick up. That's an extension of our own solar system. Within each galaxy, so think about the Milky Way. If you've ever laid on the ground and you look up and you see this expansive Milky Way that goes across the sky, that has each galaxy has like 8,000 stars, planets, suns in it. So you imagine 2 trillion galaxies, and then within that are 8,000 stars and planets. Anyway, the bottom line is it's a lot of influence that is influencing our Earth that half of us don't really give it much credit for. So when you're wondering on those days why you're feeling up, why you're feeling down, there are those bigger influences from the celestial realm as well as the earthly realm. But I'm going to tell you, it's ramping up. It's already ramping up. And for most of you, you may feel like the Starship Enterprise, where you stepped into that column and then all your molecules are redistributed into pure light, and then you're transported to another place where your form takes place again. This is happening right now, and you're still in the same place, but it's like the time and space continuum is being changed. But let me get back on track to what I'm talking about. So somebody on Facebook said they're so happy to connect with the blue light page. Okay, so as I said, humanity's collective consciousness and spiritual awakening is influencing, also you are influencing the Earth's grid. Okay. And awakening consciousness can lead to the reconfiguration of the grid. So remember I talked about Starship Enterprise? Same can happen for the grid. As it raises in frequency, its own molecular structure is going to change. The crystal grids can be for healing, helps you to heal, helps you to restore damaged areas within your own energy system. However, if the grid is damaged, then that can cause us to really feel off kilter. So, and science doesn't recognize or talk a lot about this unless you're watching Skinwalker Ranch. So I'm laughing because I'm one of the few in my family. My mother and I watch, and I'll say Donna Duff also watches it with me, but we're a small little community that watches Skinwalker Ranch. So not a lot of people watch that, but just the last episode, they actually, last few episodes have caught what they think is a vortex or toroidal vortex that's going deep down into the earth. They're actually catching it on some LiDAR measuring device. Doesn't it sound like Star Trek? And then they can actually see, they're actually catching it where it goes up into the earth. So this is portal, and there are UFOs going through the portal. So they're doing a lot of scientific research, but overall that is not recognized in the scientific community yet. So let me talk a little bit. This morning, I'm meditating. And I'm meditating on the blue light because we're going to do the blue light talk. And I'm meditating on the grid because the star beings are saying, please help repair the grid. Please help repair the grid. And I said, okay. And then I said, where is this blue light coming from? Like, I've never really asked that before. In some ways, I've heard, Pleiadia and Sirius, and then there's these other planets, and then there's the Lyrans, the lion beings, the cat beings, feline beings. There's a lot that's there. But I said, can you help direct me to where I can get some more information about this? And this is the cool part. So now I'm hearing dog star. This is how it comes. Dog star, dog star, dog star. So now Yvonne comes downstairs and she brings my dog, Sadie. I should start calling her Sirius. Anyway, so she comes downstairs to greet me before she goes out. And Yvonne said, oh, what are you up to? Sorry to interfere. And I'm like, no worries. I'm just hearing about the dog star and you just brought my dog down. So what they said in the meditation that dogs, there's this huge connection with dogs on the earth. How many of you on this call today have dogs? So go ahead and put that yes, I have a dog. What kind of dog and what's the name of your dog? So we're going to start making some dog connections here in this friggin' celestial talk about dogs. However, let's not leave out the cat people. The cat people are the Lyrans, Lyran. And I have written about the Lyrans before. I will be talking about Lyrans again because on August 8th, we have the Lions Gate portal that's going to be opening up. There's a lot of blue that's going to be starting to be very palpable in that vortex as well. So, yeah. Eric saying he saw 3 blue light dog beings around me. All right. So I'm asking about where this comes from, and the answer came dog star, dog star, dog star. So this is crazy. So after my meditation, I put into the Google search engine dog star. And what came up was Wikipedia, the constellation, the Sirius constellation. So that's how the blue light beings let me know directly we are being influenced by the blue light through Orion's belt. So you want to write all those things down, Orion's belt, the dog star. So dog star A, which is known as Canine, when I say Canis A and Canis B, associated with canine. What was I going to say about that? Oh, that's where the blue light is coming from. So that was my answer. So that's the first time in a long time, in this entire time that I've known that it's come from that. But this is the wild thing. So Wikipedia, if you type in dog star, Wikipedia comes up and it gives you a ton of information about this ancient influence. So, in most of the world, in ancient culture, it is called the dog star. There's a lot about dogs, but it's also called the celestial wolf. So, in China, in Chinese history, it's called the celestial wolf. In the indigenous cultures, they have similar dog names. So, they might call it the wolf star, the coyote star, and the moon dog. So all of these are associated with the planet Sirius. So Diane is saying she's got two yellow lab husky mixes. Oh my God, and they're 12 weeks old. See, Diane, my older dog, it was 15, died in November. Who in their right mind would turn around and get another dog? But we were told we needed another dog in the house. We have a dog in the house, and he's 15. But anyway, so we ended up getting Sadie. But remember when we were going, like I get so friggin' excited about this when we start making these connections. Remember when we were going through the COVID pandemic, and remember you couldn't find a dog at all because so many people had adopted all the dogs out of the rescue centers, all new puppies, everything. Like everybody was getting a dog. So when I was meditating this morning, the blue beings of light say, do you think that was by accident? So, and so anyway, lots of people getting dogs, lots of people new dog owners. So we have Rebecca has a German Shepherd, Great Pyrenees. Holy smokes, that's a big dog. And a black cat. Yes, we have Honey Bear, which is a Cavapoo. Yeah, lots of dogs. Two miniature schnauzers, Oreo and Belle. Oh my gosh, and a kitty, Isis. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So, because the planet in ancient Egypt, the dog star is related to the star of Isis. So, yeah, so that's why I'm like super excited. All right, let's see if I can get back on track here. So in my meditation, then I was like, so why dogs? Why dogs? And they said, because this is the wild thing. I mean, this is the mind-blowing thing. How can all these ancient cultures that could be 10,000 years apart, all on some level related to dogs or related to the D word, but it's, canines and wolves, celestial wolves, moon dogs. Why do they all have the same name when they're living in different parts of the planet? How does that happen? Like, really, how does that happen? So, so I'll just read to you about the dogs, and then I'll read to you, and then I'll tell you what the blue beings of light said about the significance of dogs. So, ancient civilizations have observed Sirius, named the dog star, due to its connection to the great constellation of the dog, and saying it looks like a dog leg. Do I believe that for a minute? No. Is it like somebody now in 1960 looked up and said, well, that looks like a dog's leg, so we're going to call it the dog star? No, it's been called the dog star for thousands of years, and not because it looks like a dog's leg. That's my personal opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Hello, Chica, who's 14 years old. Okay, so in Egyptian culture, it was highly connected. Sirius was connected to the flooding of the Nile River, a very essential event for Egyptian culture. Ancient beliefs, the star of Isis, I've already said that, linked to the goddess Isis. So we're going to need to look this up. I'm going to need to meditate with Isis. You all are going to need to meditate with Isis, because I can't do this by myself. We have to bring this information together. I tell you, it's like crickets on the Blue Light Movement page, where it's just like, come on, I know, like a lot of you will tell me in private, it's like, Nancy, the blue beings of light have been talking to me since I was 6 years old. Why aren't we hearing these stories on the Blue Light Movement page? I'm just saying a lot of people would love hearing those stories, right? But Isis is connected to symbolizing divine motherhood, fertility, and rebirth. In a sense, we are going through this transformational birthing phase into a new way of existing. The Dogon tribe in Mali in Africa are the guardians of Syrian knowledge. So if you look up the Dogon tribe and you read the history of Syrian knowledge there, they have a cave where they allowed a journalist to go in and take pictures of this, where the star Sirius, the whole constellation, this cave painting or carving was done several thousand years ago, long before any of our known telescopes can picture it. So anyway, it's a big deal. And oh my God, we're going to run out of time. I'm going to talk more about this in another talk, I promise you. But look it up for fun, curiosity about the Dogon people and the Sirius knowledge. Like, how did they know that? Well, they say they know that because the star beings from Sirius came down and told them this knowledge, and that they are the ancestors. Their ancestors are from Sirius. There's also this shared belief that extraterrestrials, star beings, came from Sirius, also known as Nomo, Nommo. Go look this up. You will be provided with a wealth of knowledge. The Nomo are associated with the dolphins and the whales. So you've heard me talk about this. I've written a blog about this before. So there's a lot of information there. Sumerian and Babylonian had the beliefs that their ancestors came from the stars of Sirius. And they also believe they have many of their deities are associated with the star beings of Sirius. Definitely in Greek and Roman mythology. But Sirius, get this, Sirius is this kind of blue hue, is twice as big as our sun. Like, doesn't that just like blow your mind? Like, this is a big influence. It is the brightest star in our celestial sky, this bright, bright blue star. It gets brighter at times than other times, but it's super, super bright. And according to ancient beliefs, that's our ancestors communicating to us with this blue light. And they're going to communicate to us big time in the fall, in November. So even though there's no scientific evidence to support this, there are many who are like us, who are in that metaphysical, spiritual realm and new expanded ways of believing that that the Syrian blue light influences our grid system, our ley lines, and the vortexes. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5. Sirius influences our ancient calendars. Syrian, like the Egyptian pyramids of Giza, are directly aligned with Syria. The pyramids in China are directly aligned with Syria. The pyramids in Mexico, Teotihuacan, are aligned with Syria. So there's a lot of pyramids that we have not seen yet. Now, in the fall, in November, the Blue Beings of Light said, okay, now this third, the biggest time is going to happen in the United States at the pyramids in the Southwest. Of course, at that time, you've heard me say, we don't have pyramids in the United States. And of course, they laughed and said, what will be hidden will be revealed. And then what was revealed, that there is a book, it's called The Orion Zone. Blew my mind that there was a book written, my mother found it and sent it to me, Orion Zone. And in the Orion Zone is on the Hopi Reservation of all places. And there are the 3 mesas that when you look, from above and you take a picture down, those 3 mesas are aligned with, guess what? Sirius. So cool stuff, but we need to get to the healing of the grid. But I just want to talk about remember when I said little messages can come through? So the guy was talking about a trillion galaxies. Then I was reading an article about love, and that humans fall in love like really head over heels. I can't think my way out of through life. I'm so friggin' in love that can happen for humans once or twice in their lifetime, is what this research said. But they said dogs, the way their brain is configured and the way that they're kind of configured and structured, that every time you walk in that door, they fall madly in love with you. Every time they see someone, they fall madly in love with them, that they have this ability to fall in love over and over and over and over again. So anyway, so that's why they were saying that's that influence from the star beings, that they are so in love with us. They fall in love with us. They're supporting us with the love from the galaxy, from the universes. So what we're going to play with the grid. Now, one of the things that Eric is asking about is how can we heal the grid on our day in our day-to-day ways. So I'm just going to teach you this fun little way to heal the grid. But what the star beings are telling us is that we're going to call upon the blue light from Sirius, and we're going to let the blue light, we're going to call it to infuse the grid that's going all the way around the earth. So you're going to imagine this little ball, it's going to infuse the grid, and wherever you sense a hole or a blockage, you're going to call through that celestial blue, asking it to really infuse even more. But the star beings told me this morning that you can make it quite fun. So remember, in China, they call it the dragon lines. So you can imagine blue dragons moving along the lines, and every time there's a thin or broken area or damaged area, you can imagine blue fire coming out of the dragon that's just going to run along that line until it's repaired. They also said you can imagine wolves, blue wolves running along the line, blue dogs running along the line, even cats, the lions, you can imagine moving along those grids, to just keep it lighthearted and imaginative while you're doing some incredibly important work of healing this grid. And yes, Eric, they are saying we need to keep checking it every single day and doing our part. Now remember, there's 38 of you on this call, and there's probably going to be hundreds watching the recording later. But there are 7 billion people on the face of the planet. There are a lot of people doing this, even at an unconscious level. Their higher consciousness is helping to stabilize the grid in preparation for November. So let's go ahead and get this started. Okay, let's do some healing on this incredible blue celestial crystal grid. All right, go ahead and close your eyes and feel the excitement of your own spirit. If you're feeling your body's like, oh, I don't know about all this, and you just tell your body, hey, I've got your back. I promise you. I'm going to keep my head about me. I'm not going to do anything crazy. So just assure your body. Maybe let your body feel some of that devotional dog love to calm your body down. I can see many of your spirits out there are becoming very blue. There's a blue radiance of light that just tells me you have a lot of star being DNA in your genetics. So let's go ahead and imagine a blue light extending from our body down to the center of the earth. And imagine this blue column of light is going to go all the way down to the core of the earth. It's going to connect and anchor into the blue crystals. and then let your blue light expand through the thousands of acres of blue crystals there at the core of the earth. There's a high level of star knowledge there. So as you tap into the blue crystals, you may start to experience some of this knowledge for yourself. As you are expanding your own blue connection to the blue crystals, you may also feel aspects of the grid deep in the earth. And I have to say, from my perspective, that looks pretty strong. Not so strong above within our atmosphere, but pretty strong. So see if, for those of you who are extra sensitive to earthly things, tapping in your blue connection to the grid at the core of the earth, and see if you can sense this kind of rhythmic pulsing of energy. Whether you can knowingly feel that pulsing of the grid at the Earth's core or not, I am experiencing an enormous sense of inner peace and calm. Nice, nice. Now let's shift our attention to above, calling in the blue celestial light. You can also call it the blue divine light. You can also, for those of you who maybe you're feeling called a little on the edge, but you're wondering if it is aligned with your spiritual religious beliefs, that you can just ask that it be blessed by the God of your heart, that this blue light be blessed with the God light or the goddess light, if you want to, if that helps you to feel more comfortable. And then go ahead and bring that blue celestial light from the dog star Sirius A. Sirius B is called little dog. Sirius A, the dog star, is going to come all the way down through your entire aura energy field. It's going to bathe all your own inner ley lines and vortexes with the blue light, and then let that pass right on through and infuse into the earth. Nice. If you feel comfortable, you can ask for the presence of the star beings that you are most aligned and associated with. So it can be from the Pleiadians. It can also be from Lyra, where the Lyrans, the cat, lioness, feline people come from. And for those of you who are not comfortable at that level, it's okay to call in the angelic realm, Jesus, Mary, Buddha, just for the beings of light to come in and help support you as we heal the grid together. Nice, nice. Now, some of you will feel like healing. You'll be called to heal the grid by just naturally going into prayer. And you can pray to God or the goddess and just say prayers to heal the grid. And you don't have to visualize it or anything. For those of you who want to be a little more curious, a little more edgy, a little more expanded, or imaginative, this is where you're going to just imagine this celestial blue light infusing from the blue star Sirius, from the dog star. It's going to start pouring into the grid, and you're going to sense, see, hear, or know this blue illuminating light going all the way around the world, just like a fishing net, any kind of net, but it's blue and it's made of pure light. And then when you notice that there may be a darker area, thick, sticky, just call on more light to infuse that area. If you want to really take it to another level of playful imagination, then bring in the blue dragon, bring in blue goddesses, bring in blue dogs, wolves, coyotes, and just let yourself play with those areas. There is some specific areas over Africa, Ukraine. There's some, the North Pole. Please check there. That one, there's really something going on there at the North Pole. You can check the South Pole as well, but you may notice other areas around the world. So we'll have you post that in the comments section when you're done. But we're going to take literally 3 minutes of quiet. That's going to feel like a long time. You'll be able to get a lot done in a short period of time. All right. Thank you for gathering together to do this today. And there's a couple of you who are experiencing a little bit of nausea, and that just means that you are extra sensitive to feeling the damaged aspects of the grid. So just send some more of that blue down to the center of the earth, and that will help you to, should help that nausea to lighten up. It has been 3 minutes, but I'm just now starting to feel the frequency really raise. So let's just take a little bit more time. You're all doing a really amazing focus. And I must say, it feels as if you've all done this before. Feels as if we've been at this point before. We're joining together to stabilize the earth. All right, it's starting to feel a little wobbly. So we're going to call you all back to focus on where you are now, because Spirit is telling me it's not the earth that it's wobbly, but it's that your own energetic field's getting a little wobbly because you were basically channeling some pretty strong energy. And so just go ahead and call yourself back present. Check with your grounding. It can be that blue grounding egg. Just check in. Some of you might be feeling a little dizziness. Just kind of slow down the flow that's more comfortable for your human body. Thank the blue crystals, thank the blue celestial light, thank your body for its willingness, thank your spirit, most certainly. Thank the God of your heart, the goddess of your heart, or the blue beings of light, or the Lyrans, the Pleiadians, the Sirians. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and stretch. At the mental level, it may feel inconceivable that in, we'll say, less than 10 minutes for the whole piece, that it could stabilize the entire earth for 8 billion people, not to include all the trees and the mountains and the animals and the rocks and the plants and the um, always reminded to remember the insects and things like that. But yes, to be in service, because at the astral realm and the higher dimensional realm, there is no time and space. You intend it, and it is so. So it was just a big shift, and that was really helpful. So what the blue beings of light said, that all the way leading up to November, when you think blue grid, you could be in the middle of washing dishes, you could be in the middle of the bathtub, you could be in the middle of work. It says stop, take a few minutes to do a healing of the grid. So I'm curious, what did you notice? Uh, which area of the Earth's grid did you notice? Was it over the North Pole? Did you notice it somewhere else? Was it in South America? Was it in Africa? So it'd be great to hear, um, what you noticed. Maybe you didn't notice anything in the grid, but maybe you noticed something inside of you. So again, just speaking to Eric's question, what can we do in the meantime? So Spirit's just saying 5 minutes is going to be incredible. If every time you think of it, that means Spirit's talking to you. That means the star beings are talking to you because they know that you're capable, and they're saying, hey, can you just do a little touch up over here? And then you can go on about your day. Also, what the blue beings of light said is to imagine, whether you're a dog person or you're a cat person or you're no, bird or fish, lizard, it doesn't matter. But Spirit said, imagine blue celestial dogs or blue celestial wolves walking with you at that spiritual level. So they can ride in the car with you, they can sit in the chair next to you, but your imagination is to have these dogs and wolves with you. Someone saying the North Pole, yeah, that's what I noticed. The North Pole seemed to really have a great need at this time. Someone else said North and South Pole and Ukraine. Javante said at one point felt the body was gone and then quickly sent energy to California and across the United States, South America, China, North Pole. Use blue dragons with blue fire, and a white lion showed up for me. There's a book about the white lions, which is incredible, so you can look that up. You began seeing electric lines from the North Pole throughout the world. I love that. I love that. I don't know everything and I don't get everything. The way we are in the world is like this 7 billion piece puzzle, and I have one piece and you have one piece. And all of our pieces need to come together. And so, with this blue event coming up in November, please let's just keep sharing with each other, or keep a journal. You can write to me personally, or you can write on my blog page under the comment sections to tell your story. Connie was saying, I kept hearing Appalachia, really another Appalachia Mountains, pure quartz crystal. So I'm not surprised that you're picking up on that. All right, so now imagine blue dogs, blue wolves walking with you. I do want to mention that Harvest Rose Tarot on YouTube said, children of the matrix. So, what she said was, that when I said dog star, she knew I was going to say Sirius because it's in this book called Children of the Matrix, which is talking very similar about what I've talked about today. I have not read it. I will say just my own kind of release form is that David, I've never been a huge fan of his, and you have to remember I was never a huge fan that we were influenced by the stars either. So I'm going to go back. Harvest Rose, I'm going to go back and revisit David Icke because the things he was saying in the past I thought were so outrageous. But that was what, 10, 20 years ago. So now in my new consciousness, I might view that differently. So everyone, this is some real stuff, even if it can't be scientifically proven, but real stuff in my book. Please keep meditating with the blue light. Those can be downloaded on my Intuitive Mind website under free, under stuff, free stuff. You can download. Please start meditating every day, a couple of times a day with the blue light. It's really going to help make things really smooth for you and others when we have that big blue light surge. All right, everyone, it's almost 10 after 9. So thanks again. We've been on for about an hour. Thanks again for your patience with the glitches. We'll probably continue to have glitches as the energy vibrations go up. So beautiful. Lindsay's saying, posting some things. So, and what's the book about the white lions? I'll look. I think I've actually got it on my bookshelf. Incredible, incredible book. But you can look up white lions, and the book should probably pop up on Amazon. Okay. All right, as Warrior Girl says, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you're on YouTube, and you'll be seeing me again a lot sooner than next month. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.